Today's show is sponsored by Squarespace, the all-in-one website platform to help you stand out in 2025. Today I'm going to show off some fantastic watches, all under £500, that are a great, affordable alternative to the Rolex Submariner. Let's get into it! Yes, and welcome to the Mad Watch Collector Show. Today is all about affordable alternatives to this puppy. One of the most iconic watches of all time. We all know it's probably the most quintessential dive watch in the modern era. It's definitely the most copied watch of all time. There's no doubt about it. But today I'm here to prevent a tragedy. Now people, I know how you feel, okay? A lot of us can't afford a Rolex Submariner. A lot of us will never ever be able to afford one. But I'm here to try and stop you buying clomages. What? Yeah, you heard me. Clomages. A term used to describe a watch that has completely copied the design of another brand's popular watch. Pretty much a logo away from being a fake watch. Now over the years I've not kept this a secret. I don't like clomages. These things. And to be fair, I think it's taking the Now yes, these watches may have great specs, maybe even great value, but to me they are just soulless products made just to get a few quid off of you, the vulnerable watch enthusiast. But there are tons of watches out there that are inspired by the likes of the Rolex Submariner, but have their own characteristics, which gives them a personality and makes you feel more good about your watch. Now for anyone that does buy these clomages and enjoys them, all power to you. The fact you put your money in a mechanical watch, great. But for anyone that is hovering over the AliExpress buy button, hold on, because I'm going to try and give you some great affordable alternatives under the £500 mark you might be interested in buying. And they're just great watches in their own right without stunt doubling. So just sit back, relax, and let me take you on a journey through a fantastic set of Submariner inspired beauties. Are you fantastic watches ready? Let's go. Okay, so I'm going to do this in a sort of price order from the cheapest, and we're working our way up. First of all, how can we have a list of budget Submariner alternatives without talking about the Casio Duro? This watch is a cult favourite, not just because it looks snazzy, but because it gives you so much for your money. 200 meters of water resistance. This watch is fully stainless steel with a screw down crown and screw down case back. You still can buy the MDV 106-1AV. I prefer this one to the newer releases because with those they've got rid of the marlin on the front of the dial, and I just think that gives it a character of its own. And as we can see, it is inspired with a twinge of Rolex Submariner, but this is a Casio, and for £56 we're already off and running. Before I show you the next watch, I have to talk about today's sponsor, who are Squarespace. They are the all-in-one website platform to help you stand out and succeed in 2025. If you have a business that needs to elevate itself above the competition, Squarespace is the perfect partner to get you right on track. Filled with so many website templates and easy instructions on how to maximize your look, it's almost a surefire win. And we have to talk about the amazing AI blueprint feature, where all you have to do is type in a few keywords and then Squarespace builds your own flipping website, which I might add you can still customize. Hit that link in the description below where you can find 10% off your first purchase or website domain. And listen, if you really want to make it happen in 2025 and make that side hustle an actual business reality, let Squarespace make it happen. The next one, another MWC favourite. It has risen in price over the years, but not too much. I am talking about the Orient Ray 2. Now Orient, if you don't know, are owned by the Epson Group, Who owns Seiko? So a very well-respected, reliable brand that has been around since the 50s that is connected to the likes of Seiko. Now, I've owned this watch. I love this watch. It definitely has inspirations of the Rolex Sub, but it definitely looks like an Orient Ray too. 41mm diameter, 13 thick, 22mm lug width. We have a great retro aluminium insert, and we have an in-house automatic mechanical movement. We have a mineral glass protecting the dial. I found one with the bracelet, but with a nice even number like 22mm, you're going to be able to find some great straps for this baby. I love the little indents in the bezel. That does give it its own character. And who doesn't like a watch with a logo that looks a bit like it's just come off a cigarette packet? 200 meters of water resistance, screw down crown, screw down case back, 156 quid, winner. Next up, another great favourite of the watch community, especially for those that are starting their watch journey. We are talking about the latest Seiko 5 sports watch. This model is based on the SKX, which is an absolute value for money icon from the late 90s to about 2018. Now, Seiko discontinued the SKX, but what they did is they used the case design to launch a new Seiko 5 Sports. And as the time has gone on, I've felt less annoyed and more respect for Seiko, because I know how important the Seiko 5 Sports line has been for Seiko over the years. For them to put their trust in this case shape, well, just shows you how high regard they think of it. Here I'm showing you the SRPD 55K1. It has the black and white monochromatic color scheme, just like the Submariner. Very legible, great dive time, 120 click unidirectional bezel. Now you can go for the smaller size, the 37mm, and they're just a great versatile everyday watch. They're also iconic to Seiko, and that's why they have to be on this list. This one I found for £189. 3 or 4 years ago, this watch was about $250. This is a great shout at an alternative, and be proud of wearing it.
Could you just click that like button, please? It really helps the channel. Thank you.
Next up, a Timex. Yes, take a look at the Deep Water Reef 200. So yes, the clue's in the title. This is a 200-meter watch, a very capable diver. It's quartz based, it has a sapphire glass, but the case shape is really cool. Definitely reminds me of a 62 mass, but it looks military. It looks ready for business. This is gonna wear a little bit big on the wrist due to the 22mm lug width and just the way the case is. It's only 12mm thick though. That is a big thanks to the quartz movement. I've said it before and I've said it again. Timex are doing some great things lately. This watch is only £190. You can definitely see a little bit of inspiration to the Submariner, but it doesn't look like one. It looks like a deep water Reef 200. Unidirectional bezel, screw down crown, screw down case back. This thing's a great option. Next up, well, it's a Citizen. Yes, a watch that I have reviewed before and I really do like, the NY0120-52E. This watch has a fantastic wrist presence. I love the vintage styling of this watch, as we don't have any crown guards. The textured dial is phenomenal. Big loomed applied indices and handset makes this hugely legible. This is powered by an automatic Miyota 8000 series, which, yes, does feel like you're strangling a cat while you're winding it, and you will feel the automatic rotor wibbling and wobbling about at time to time because that rotor only goes one way. But I thought the bracelet was great, and the overall value for money of this watch was just, well, it was great. It was great. Screw down crown, screw down case back, mineral glass protecting the dial, 41mm, 20mm lug width. It's only 11mm thick, which is phenomenal for a 200-meter diver. And for £250, it's a great place to park your money and be proud of your watch. Okay, 2 more to go. I'm going to save my favourite one till last. This one's a very cool one though, and it's from a brand called Certina. Now, Certina is one of those brands If you know, you know. They are definitely a watch enthusiast brand. Not a brand Joe Public off the street would know about, but this Swiss company has been around since the 1800s. Tremendous history. In my view, they do make a lot of generic looking watches that no one's really bothered about. Sometimes they do come out with absolute bangers, but for £415, I'm gonna recommend the Certina DS Action Diver. Just a very good looking, versatile watch, very legible, from a Swiss company, 40mm in diameter, only 11.2mm thick, with a 20mm lug width. The dial is protected by a sapphire glass, 120 click unidirectional bezel, and it's powered by a Swiss ETA quartz movement. Screw down crown, screw down case back, 300 meters of water resistance. Even though we are quite high in our £500 budget, to own a Certina under the 500 mark, well, that's brilliant. It's one of those brands that if you saw it in the wild, you saw someone owning it, you would definitely think that this person was a watch enthusiast. And you know what? I might say hello. Very decent watch from a great brand.
Hello.
Okay, so this is my last recommendation. I've known this brand for well over 5 years. I've had watches from this micro brand. I'm not sure you can call them a micro brand anymore. Independent watch company. They do a phenomenal job of making watches that are sort of stuck in an era, 50s and 60s, designed to look like a watch from that era, but not have heavy inspiration on, you know, just one watch. Basically, all the best watches of the 50s have been shoved into this design and they've come out with this. And I'm talking about the Orient Neptune. We've got Omega in here. We've got Rolex in here. We've got everything warm and fluffy from the 50s. Now, independent watch brands can offer us huge value for money. The customer service is always really high, and the watches Lauren and Lorenzo make are they're special. This is pretty much their signature watch, 39mm in diameter. It's only 10.3mm thick. Now, considering it's got a lovely domed Hesselite crystal,
Polywatch on standby.
that's quite an achievement. Only 46mm lug to lug. It's a phenomenal proposition. It's powered by a Miyota 90S5, which gives you a 4 Hz movement. It's the only watch in this list that can give you 28,800 beats per hour. Screw down crown. Look at the size of that crown as well. Screw down case back. This is a 200-meter diver with a very twistable unidirectional bezel. And let me tell you, the bracelets on a Orient are magnificent. The articulation is phenomenal. The comfort of this bracelet is phenomenal. Trust me when I say you will definitely not regret the £393 on a Orient Neptune. So there we go, my choices of the best Rolex Submariner alternatives under the £500 mark. Listen, I'm not going to tell you what watch to buy. If you do go Pagani or you go San Martin, big respect to you. Me personally, I just don't like the idea of buying a clone that has a different logo on it just because I like the design of a watch I can't afford. Because if you look around, trust me, there are literally thousands of watches you would get far more fun out of and be proud of them. If you own a great dive watch that has a hint, just a little hint of a Rolex Submariner, stick it in the comments below. I'm always looking for a good bargain or two. Thank you so much for watching till the end. If you want a bit more of the Mad Watch Collector, well, click there and join, you'll love it. Those guys get to see the shows before anyone else. But if I've got you for a few more minutes, why don't you have a look at this bad boy? This is phenomenal, one of my best. I'm not sure what it is because it says best for viewer, but still, I'm sure it's one of my best. Go on, click it, you'll love it. Go on, click it.